Good afternoon, everyone. It's our first company this afternoon. I'd like to welcome Moixa Technology. I hope I've pronounced it correctly. Simon Daniel, CEO of Moixa, will be presenting.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here today. I'm founder of Moixa Technology. It's the word axiom backwards. We rethink foundations of subjects. We're developing a smart DC energy solution for the home. We're raising £500,000 currently alongside recently awarded grants of £700,000 from TSP and Eurostars, and we're preparing for a Series A next summer. Just a background of who we are. We originally invented a folding keyboard and licensed that technology and sold a few million units of that. And thought through the future of mobile computing, out of which we realized power was a problem, batteries and cables. And so we invented a USB cell battery, which is on sale, and we built that company, and now that company is in a trade sale mode and partnering internationally. And these batteries are reused by charging in a computer port and carry data and memory and other features. We've now recently spun out Moixa Technology to take forward our home energy technology we've been incubating in the holding company for the last few years. In terms of the market opportunity we're addressing, we're trying to help homes save a third of energy as quickly as possible. And we're very interested in making renewables mass market, putting it into maybe a third of British homes by 2020. And the goal of this is to really reduce peak load and save energy and carbon in the home. Our focus areas are around making renewables actually work by making them cheaper, more mass market, so they work in flats, work 24 hours a day by integrating storage and fuel cell technologies, and make them easy and effective to power real things in the home, particularly around the home office, of which there's 700,000 people who work at home in the UK, about 7 million in the States, and particularly around powering lighting electronics in the home. And this is actually an increasing part of the home load. EST says 45% of the home of the future is gadgets, electronics. And we're also looking at making smart control actually work, making things persistent, making technology revenue generating. One of the common themes behind this is actually DC technology. We think there's a DC shift going on in the home, as most of the devices in the home are increasingly devices which need an AC-DC adapter to plug in, particularly computers, particularly gadgets, particularly things you leave on 24 hours a day, which actually contributes quite a lot to your bill. Equally, lighting is becoming LED, and lighting is a DC technology, and these have additional costs going into the device to actually power them. We're trying to solve that by rethinking how DC is distributed in the home. And the really interesting thing is it's a very good fit for renewables. Renewables produce DC, photovoltaic, fuel cells, batteries store DC, and most things in the home need DC, so there's a very good fit. The issue is the wiring. Today's wiring is very difficult. We've got a method of reusing household wiring to provide DC. And a critical thing we can solve with that is shifting power off-peak. About a third of peak is actually DC related. So if we just focus on the DC problem and solve that problem at low cost, perhaps in the £1,000 to £3,000 range per house, we actually could have a very significant impact on domestic energy consumption in moving things off peak power, off peak emissions, of moving things away from carbon intensive daytime energy use to the nighttime. And there are a number of benefits in that, and I'll go through that a bit further in our business plan. We discuss that. But we overall see a shift away from Tesla AC distribution to actually Edison type distribution in the home. And we think that everything waist height and above is becoming a DC product: computers, electronics, gadgets, lighting, LED technology. And we want to rethink how that's done as a retrofit as well as new build. Our overall approach is to help homes manage and reduce their energy by shifting all that power for DC stuff off-grid to a solar panel or a fuel cell, or off-peak to a battery charged intelligently at night. And so what we do is we monitor the high-load, capital-intensive things, which you don't change very often. You change them every 7 years. And we'll make recommendations based around how to change that over time. But the focus is actually providing energy. We are an energy company. We provide renewable energy in the home to power things you actually use every day, like your phones, like your gadgets, like your devices. So there's quite good feedback of seeing things working and seeing bills go down. And we're interested in shifting that to an off-grid or off-peak resource, like a solar panel hung from a window. We've come up with novel solutions to make solar much more mass market in the home. Let's look at an example by running a short video of our technology in action. So central to our system is a home energy hub, which you might install yourself or be installed by an electrician. And this manages renewable sources, such as in this case solar panels hung from windows and batteries charged at night, provides power to electronic devices you use and lighting in general through the lighting circuit, and supports smart power functions via your mobile device. Our aim is to make this very easy to buy online, configure like a Dell site, have it delivered via an installer, and it's installed very easily by a trained installer or a DIY enthusiast. We've used design to reduce the cost of installation and used approaches like, here's an example of hanging a solar panel from a window, and we've designed a solar shutter, so if London went Dutch, we could have solar installed across London very easily. And you plug this into a home energy hub to power, in this case, a home office. You plug your computers directly into it without an AC/DC adapter. And this means you can power things more efficiently without inverter losses or AC/DC losses. You can also extend that to your lighting circuit via an electrician, plugging this into a lighting circuit to power LED lights, and also provide sockets in the rooms to power devices. Here's an example of a DC socket, which is smart. And it talks to a battery, charges that battery overnight by talking to the grid via a smart meter, and we're doing a trial on that currently, and provide smart control functions so you control things remotely and give you data about energy consumption. We've got patents behind what we've done in our technology, but we're really looking at making this a mass market solution by focusing on any home, flats, particularly urban solutions in cities, to take energy off grid and off peak and reduce the overall cost of energy to the consumer. So moving on, right, let's close that down. So what's new about this category? We believe it is a new category in the home, our smart DC energy solution. It's a hybrid. It takes the best of a number of features of solar, storage, efficiency, and monitoring. It gives you 24/7, 365 saving by working all day, all year round. It benefits from off-peak prices. It benefits from actually works in winter. It's an urban solution, so we've got a larger market we're applying it to. It works in flats. It's also low cost and rapid to install. And it's a smarter technology. There's intelligence built in. It's future-proof because more technology in the future is actually DC, and we have more and more gadgets. In fact, there's an exponential rise in gadgets we're plugging into our home environment. And we designed methods of retrofitting this via lighting, and we've got a strong IPR file behind some of the technologies we've invented, such as variable DC power provision within it. Where we sit in the competitive landscape is it's actually a very noisy landscape. But we are an energy company. We don't just talk about energy like all the monitoring companies or smart meter companies. We actually provide energy through our network to help integrate multiple renewables and add them stepwise to the home and provide power efficiently to DC devices in the home. And through that, we end up with a persistent change. And actually, that's where the money is. This is where Bloom Energy, Ceres Power, all the fuel cells, all the solar companies are. But we're trying to make this mass market by good design, focusing on things which actually work today. We will collaborate with monitoring companies and other software companies out there in order to use the best of the technologies. But those technologies in isolation are not persistent. Energy information is not really very exciting. Energy is quite dull to get involved with managing on a day-to-day basis. You just want it to work. And so our technology enables you to power stuff you use, power it overnight, but use it during the day from a cheap resource so you can leave it on, power it efficiently. And if you're using our technology to power things, you will actually interact with it. If it gives you a piece of advice, you might respond to that piece of advice, whereas a display is not so useful in isolation. We overall have a better market position. We're right in the middle of the market. There's a sell-up to put in full-scale solar in a home, which is actually very expensive, but not accessible to the mass public. Most people in London don't own access to their roofs, and so putting solar into a home in London is very difficult, and it's very expensive. Our solution actually works 24 hours a day. Solar does not solve the peak problem. Ours helps solve the problem by a combination of solar and batteries and intelligent power provision. It also has a net overall better carbon saving for the household by putting power at cheaper prices. And we're sell up to monitoring. Monitoring is not a persistent technology. So we sit in the middle of the space, using the best of the other side, but actually providing a solution which is applicable to everyone who uses phones today, or computers, or gadgets, or televisions, or different DC devices in the home. Our vision is to become a Dell hybrid with Sky, to actually become a mass market solution and install things in a third of British homes. We've already done a few years of incubation on this technology, spending over £250,000, building IP, building R&D and demonstration prototypes, and a pipeline of clients. Our next phase with the funding is to actually validate our technology in a trial of 50 homes. And we've recently won an £870,000 grant from the TSB to support that. We've also got revenue from early clients from the energy and supermarket sector. And then our business plan is to actually do a Series A to raise funding to support launching commercial products into business channels, such as a home working kit, into corporates, as well as launching solutions into the full home. And our model combines a bit of Dell Configure Online with Sky Install or with retail white label. And we're looking at financial models with the government green bank that you don't have to put much money down to buy a system, which might be in the £500 to £2,000 range. Our channels are to partner with the energy retailers, also the supermarkets, and also set up an install network. And we'll be looking at a number of benefits through that and a number of attractions to each of the stakeholders in that. To government, we can get to 100,000 homes really quickly and showcase technology in a liberal way across the whole marketplace. A supermarket channel like Tesco is trying to sell £10,000 systems. We want to give them a system which is £1,000 to sell. Energy retailers are installing smart meters. Smart meters drive up the price of your bill and limit what you can do. Our system could be bundled with that and installed very quickly. We've got a strong management team who've launched companies before and a strong alliance network with companies, including production in China. And we've got an aggressive forecast to get to £100 million worth of sales within 5 years.
Simon, can we just go over to questions? I think we've only got a few minutes left for questions. So if you could just wrap up your presentation.
This is our final slide. So we're looking to raise £500,000 today to support our current trial activity and commercialise our technology further to market.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Can I just ask the first question? We've probably got some questions from the audience, but I'd like to just ask you really, the smart grid, I mean, how does your technology fit into this whole sort of smart grid area on the demand side as well?
We're an in-home smart grid, and we provide power, and we're shifting the DC load. And so our aim is to shift maybe a third of the peak load, which is DC technologies, to the overnight charging or to an off-grid solar source. So we're actually right on the money. What the smart grid is trying to do is to balance the grid. We can also support some DSM functions to actually give control of switching things on and off, and we provide a lot of intelligence. But the primary aim is to provide power efficiently.
Yeah. And where do you see the biggest markets? I mean, the UK, I think, and Europe generally, there's more of a consumer focus for smart grid products. And I think in the US, you tend to see much more of the demand response side, more of the sort of bigger technologies.
We're trying to be sort of an in-home technology, a bit like a Skybox, and something which can upgrade to Sky Plus over time as technology becomes available. We'll start today with technology which is adequate for the home, appropriate for the home, and as new technology becomes available, we'll add to that. We have a different strategy in different countries. In the UK, we may do a retail strategy with energy retailers and even sell products in Dixons and Homebase. In the States, we want to work with some of the energy retailers directly, although they're union rules, which means that actually our product could equally work in Home Depot there.
Very interesting. Have we got any questions from the audience? We've got a few here. Sorry, I'm going to come over with the microphone. Can you just state your name, please, as well?
Hi, I'm John Mannering. I edit something called Quota Clean Tech. You say you want to be a kind of Dell, Sky, consumer product business, that kind of thing. That seems to me that it's going to take an awful lot of money in order to achieve that. If your plan up there to raise Series A money of £3.5 to £5 million is achieved, how much do you think you'll be needing to raise in the Series B phase? So
we design products which are commercial kind of from day one. And so within 6 months of funding that company, that product was on sale in the supermarkets. Within this company, we've developed business-to-business product for home working. So we'll sell 1,000 systems through the extension of Morgan Stanley's initially to build up revenue for the company. The Series A is to fund a B2C launch where we take down the price of our product and make it more retail friendly. But it'll still be installed via our install network. And so the website is really to help either the installer or the consumer configure systems. Our technology is low voltage. It can be built like building a computer at our factories in China. And that's where similarities in the rapid cost, lowering the cost to configure are, and in the back end. And I used to be at Accenture, so I designed things like that before. So we're using the best bits of several business models to make this actually a low-cost solution for the home. But in terms of Series B and C, we may partner with an energy retailer for the working capital, or we might raise £30 million over the next few years to support £100 million sales. So we're looking at both options currently.